Hello, welcome to today's video where I'll be covering my webcomic process in Clip Studio Paint. In this series of videos, I'll be going over how you can use Clip Studio Paint to convert your traditional layout comic into a vertical comic, or to work in both formats simultaneously. For today, I'll show some of the tools you can use in Clip Studio Paint to edit and design your comics across different formats. Links to additional tutorials, as well as everything mentioned in today's video, will be down in the description below. One of the most useful tools in Clip Studio Paint for comic creation is the Create Frame tool. Using this tool, you can drag out a panel as a rectangle like you would with a square selection tool, then manipulate the corners by holding the Control or Command key. If you have the Create a New Folder setting enabled, each panel will then act as a folder for you to put your art into. This will be an important step for making the transfer process as easy as possible later. If you'd like to create new panels from a pre-existing comic, I recommend using the Create Frame tool to create frame folders, then put your panel artwork into those folders. By holding down Control or Command, you can adjust the corners of the frame to fit perfectly with your original panel shape. There are two options for panel borders. With the Draw Border box checked, Clip Studio Paint will automatically draw in a border for your panels, which you can adjust in the Tool Properties panel. And as you can see, by unchecking the Draw Border box, it instead creates a ruler path around the panel, which you can then use to draw a border with a specific brush of your choice. This is preferable if you've got a specific style of brush you like to use along the border. I also recommend drawing your panel borders on a vector layer, so you can resize them freely later without a loss of quality. Once you have it looking how you want it, you can copy and paste those frame folders and any additional border layers over to your other canvas. I recommend having both canvases open, then drag one to the side till it locks into place, which is indicated by this red overlay. This will allow you to view both canvases side by side for comparison. Since the new panels are a copy and not the original, you can now readjust the dimensions and placement of the artwork to fit the other format. For example, after copying and pasting this panel from my traditional page over to my vertical page, I may want to stretch out the panel vertically to cover more space. If I don't want my artwork to get stretched, I could simply lock those layers, then use the Transform tool to resize or press Ctrl or Command to reshape the panel. If you'd like to start a new comic project from scratch and work in both formats at once, I recommend creating two separate documents to start, one for vertical and the other for traditional. In Clip Studio Paint EX, you can create one file for each version of the project and add your pages as needed. Or if you use Pro, you can simply create a new canvas for each page, then group them together in a folder on your device to keep them organized. I personally recommend working off of the traditional page layout canvas first, as it's much easier to turn a traditional panel into a vertical panel than the other way around. Once you've decided where you want your panels to go, begin creating them with the Create Frame tool. For more dynamic shapes, you can also use the Cut Frame Border tools to divide up your panels, but make sure you have the dividing method set to Divide Frame Folder and Duplicate Inside Layer, so each division will be turned into its own panel folder. One easy way to ensure that your panels will always fit neatly on a traditional page is to use a preset panel layout from the Framing Template folder in the Materials panel, rather than drawing them manually. Try to pick ones that don't have too many long horizontal panels, as those will be the toughest to work with across both formats. By default, the panels will be broken up into individual folders, which you can adjust and move as you see fit. You can uncheck the Draw Border box if you want to add in your own. That's the basic rundown of some tools you can use for comic reformatting. In the next video, I'll cover a few more techniques and tools you can try to help make your comic making process even easier. Check the description below for my social media links and more tutorials. Thanks for watching, I hope to see you next time.
Clip Studio Paint.